Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Outer Rim broadcast. This week,
Welcome.
Zachary came in. He came in hot. He was like, "I got some controversy to discuss."
Yeah.
While
Some
while we
lore-
wait,
some lore.
while we wait the 2 more weeks for Ahsoka to come out,
Oh my God,
we're
we're
just
so
gonna
close.
we're just gonna dig up some old DMs, if you will, and just we're just gonna get deep in the drama.
Yes. Okay. So, I think like yesterday there was some controversy going on Twitter, the Star Wars Twitter, and it was about an excerpt coming up in the I guess the new Return of the Jedi book that's coming out, and the controversy was that Star Wars Theory, the YouTuber, was upset about what was said in this book. So we're gonna dive into what was said. So Yoda, this isn't part of the book, but you know what? Actually, let's read the excerpt first. So
We have
excerpt-
the facts here. We read straight from
new
the book.
book reveals Obi-Wan Kenobi sensed darkness within Luke Skywalker during Return of the Jedi. So that's the title, right? Now, what he says, this is from a certain point of view by Alex Jennings.
Which are
So what
great books, by the way.
Yeah. So what I told you was true, Obi-Wan continued, from a certain point of view. Obi-Wan sensed the struggle within Luke's heart. Beneath a layer of calm lay a roiling sea of surging emotion. Darkness and light intertwined. Luke's darkness surged against the light, but his better nature, while quieter, was the more powerful of the two, for now, which is the light side. Of course, this was not the first time Luke had struggled so. Before, it had been attachment to his friends that threatened to pull him in the wrong direction, even after Obi-Wan warned him. Luke's voice broke, from a certain point of view. That's fire. First of all, it's facts.
I mean, what Jedi hasn't had conflict in them? Especially
Exactly,
in the early training days. This is the part where Luke finally realizes his potential. He's starting, he actually can use the Force pretty well at this point. And of course he's torn between, he knows who his father is, I think by this point, because this is after Empire Strikes Back. So he knows who his father is. He knows what he has to do in order to save the galaxy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he's got that, that drive and that attachment from wanting to know who his father was his entire life. It's of course, there's going to be some sort of conflict in there.
Also, his entire arc in Return of the Jedi is him confronting the dark side within himself and also Vader and Palpatine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's literally the whole point of Return of the Jedi.
In the final scene, in the final fight scene,
he finally
Luke is
overcomes
just wailing on Vader, cuts his arm off, does all this thing, but when he cuts his hand off, when Luke cuts Vader's hand off, and he notices that it's also machine like his, he takes a second. He's like, okay, I gotta relax, and he throws his lightsaber aside and he says no, and at that point, there's no conflict. At that point, he's finally.
Yeah, he's finally confronted it. He's finally overcome it. He knows who he is. I don't understand. So the consensus that I'm seeing is everybody's fine with what is said. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I haven't watched the clip of Star Wars Theory. Apparently, some people are saying that the tweet is misleading and that it wasn't it wasn't what was said. It was something else that he's upset about. But either way.
I think part of the problem is Luke is always even in the comics and in a lot of the cinema, at least he's portrayed as a god, he is, and he is in some respects, even in Legends, he actually was a god, and he should at that point be all knowing and just be all powerful, but always for the light. But you don't start that way. You can't have even Obi-Wan.
Also, I'm kind of glad that some of that stuff isn't canon anymore, because I feel like some stuff they be doing in some of those Legends is a little too much. Yeah. But like, so I have a comic, a comic excerpt here, because somebody was saying like the franchise tells us over and over again, darkness is inside everyone, which
Yeah.
is true. So in this comic, I guess Yoda is training two Jedi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says to one of them, "Sense the dark side in her, did you? Do you sense it in me too?" And the Wookiee does little Wookiee noises, but he says, "No," he says, "but always present the dark side is, not separate from the Force, a part of it. That is the danger faced by all Jedi. Never silenced is that call, never defeated is that temptation. What temptation has young Gare succumbed to?" Whatever,
Yeah,
whoever he's
I
talking
just
about.
found that he's fighting a
But
Trandoshan, right?
yeah, they're two Jedi training. But like it's such a good line. Literally every Jedi is having to fight this at all times, and obviously the Jedi like Yoda, Obi-Wan, they're able to fight it better than some others. But yeah, it's really that's what the Force is. It's the light and dark. It's not a separation of it, of themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're just, one side is in control of the other, depending on how you are. You know?
Yeah. It's
You know what I'm
just
saying?
because there's always going to be, especially with like the human species, there's always going to be like that greed and that pride and like literally just the seven deadly sins that are going to draw you to be selfish and to use the Force in a selfish way, which of course is the dark side. Now the whole like balance thing is a whole nother discussion, because like when George Lucas was talking about, the prophecy was to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force. So when you're talking about balance, there is no dark side, which is kind of funky and weird and doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it does at the same time. So like that part I get too, but it's just I mean he would have to have some sort of conflict in him.
Yeah, look, in Empire Strikes Back, when he fights Vader and cuts the helmet, it's himself
it's
that
himself,
he's seeing.
exactly.
It's like,
And he
like
felt
this isn't a
he
subtle,
felt the pull to the dark
thing.
side. It's like, oh, I feel cold. Yoda was like, the dark side, that is.
Yeah, like I don't. It's
Like,
not
it's
even
been
like
there.
subtle.
It's been there the whole time, and it will be there because that's part of it. You overcoming it. Every Jedi that gets their crystal in Ilum always has a vision, and they always see something that tries to pull them to the dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a test.
Mm-hmm.
Even Yoda going through his trials with the wills to...
Yeah, Mortis, or not Mortis, sorry.
I don't even know. I don't think they ever named it.
He went to that Sith. He went to the Sith temple on
Yeah.
I forget, but Mark Hamill played the voice of
Malachor?
Darth Bane, I think it was.
Malachor?
Darth Bane, the creator of the Rule of Two.
Yeah, isn't Malachor the planet, or is it starts with a K?
Malachor.
Malachor, or... I know what you're talking about. The Sith homeworld. It's gone through two different names, because it's a certain name in the comics, and it's another name in the Clone Wars.
Morban.
Morban. Because it's Korriban.
Also
in the
also
comics.
known as Korriban, yeah.
Anyways, when he goes there, Yoda did good with that test, but when he faced himself, like his dark side self, like, because even Yoda was like scared and he like freaked out, but then he just realized like, no, you're just me, like you're just a part of me, and like that's, if Yoda has that.
And he fought Sidious without realizing it. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was trying to peer in.
And he almost like unmasked him.
Yep.
Oh.
What could have been.
Yeah. But
even like going back to that, like Yoda has a dark side. If Yoda has a dark side, like who
doesn't?
He's been the Grand
Every
Master.
Jedi does.
Yeah, he's been.
Oh, it's not even like the person is like bipolar or something. It's just every Force user has to go through a battle between the light and the dark. It's just how it is. The Force is made up of the dark side and the light side, not one or the other.
Yeah.
It's a choice to be better and be part of the light. But that pull to the dark because of the power and how much easier it is to use, well, not necessarily easier, but you know what I mean. It's easier to be more powerful, quicker.
And that,
use the dark side.
Yeah, because like they're not. One of them is not inherently more powerful than the other. They both have the same power, but the dark side lets you reach your potential faster.
Well, I would say the light side is stronger. It's just the dark side has a bigger pool.
When like fighting, I guess like when battling each other, the light side will always prevail, just because that's the way of the Force. That's what the Force of that. I mean, that's just the way that the scales are going to tip. Like the scales of the living and the cosmic Force are going to tip towards the light.
Just look
because
at Vader's
the will.
redemption.
Yeah, because that's the will of the Force. The dark side, there is no predetermination. There is no prophecy or anything, because that is you manipulating the Force into doing what you want it to do. So there is no prophecy. There is no.
It's bending the Force to your will instead of bending your own will to the Force. I guess you could say. Kind of.
But like with specifically like Force powers and like actual like, you know, Force potential, using neither side is not better than the other. Like they're both equally powerful, but the dark side just lets you reach your potential faster. If you don't lose 3 more of your limbs and almost burn to death. But
yeah, it's like Anakin's redemption is proof that the light side is stronger, you know, and it's on a spiritual level.
Yeah. Well, because you could do all of the things that Vader did. Do all of those things, you know, the 40 whatever years that he was Darth Vader. And
it's
yet,
actually like less than that.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Because he died at like 45.
Yeah, you're right then. So it's like 20 years ish.
Yeah. Bro killed that many people in that amount of. Yeah.
Anyways, we'll circle back to that because we gotta let that soak in for a sec. But you can be Vader for 15, 20 years. It's crazy. Because he was what, 22 when he turned?
Let me see.
Because he was 19, I think. In
however old Luke is how long he was Vader.
Oh, so 19. No, that was A New Hope. So it was.
Yeah, Luke in Return of the Jedi is 23. He was Vader for 23 years.
23.
That's wild.
So you could be Darth Vader for 23 years. Do awful things. Like complete like genocide. Like all of everything you can think of, that man has done it. And yet, for the last 30 minutes that you become Anakin again, you've redeemed yourself and you can, transfer yourself into the
half of
Force.
his life he was Anakin, and then the other half he was Vader. Because he was 22 during Revenge of the Sith.
And 23 for Vader.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Circling back to what Darth Vader did. So, first of all, complete genocide. I mean, like, immediately after he turned Darth Vader. Killed 90% of the Jedi. And that was, like, his opening act. That was his, like, first act as president. He's like, all right, I'm now in power. Here's what's going to happen. Just decided to do that.
Yeah, no, also, so I'm kind of going to go off topic here, but I don't think we've talked about this yet, but maybe we have actually. Did I talk to you about what the original writer for Obi-Wan planned? Did we talk about that recently or no?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this. So I saw that the original writer, so he originally had Reva die.
Yeah.
She originally died to Vader, and also she didn't know Anakin was Vader. She thought, because when she saw Anakin come into the Jedi Temple and was killing the Jedi, she thought that the Jedi Council betrayed the Jedi, because Anakin was on the council. So she thought the Jedi Council all had their own agenda and was who betrayed the Jedi, and that's why she's trying to kill Obi-Wan in the show, because she thinks, because he was a part of the Jedi Council, and he's like the only one left besides Yoda, but Yoda's nowhere to be found. So she's trying to look for Obi-Wan to get revenge because she thinks he was part of who killed the Jedi.
I mean, honestly,
that sounds a lot better.
That's not a bad assumption to make. When you're in the Order, and at that point she was like an apprentice or whatever.
She was a little kid. She was a youngling.
Oh, that's right. She was a youngling. So even worse. Yeah. Like, you're a youngling witnessing all this stuff. But
her first thought is, oh my god, the council betrayed us.
But the cool part about that view is, like, that's the way that Palpatine wanted the people to see it. Palpatine wanted to show the people that the Jedi were turning on themselves. They were turning against the Republic. So they tried to overthrow him, and that's what caused, his disfiguring and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, honestly, that's, not far off of what, could have happened, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then so when she finds out the truth from Obi-Wan, that's when she goes and tries to attack Vader, and then he kills her. And yeah, there was some other stuff, but I don't remember. But that was just the most important thing that I thought of. I think her dying in the end would have been more impactful. Yeah. Because I feel like they're not going to end up doing anything with her anymore. So It's like, it's just another, redeemed Jedi out there somewhere.
Yeah, because what happened in the end? She just got promoted, or did she get kicked out?
Huh?
What happened to her at the end of Kenobi? Because I'm drawing a blank.
Because she was gonna kill Luke to get revenge.
Yeah.
And kill Vader's child, but then she didn't. She thought about herself. Yeah. About how she was.
Yeah,
and so
that's
then
right.
She returns him, and then she just leaves. She just leaves. We don't know where she goes. Classic. And I just feel like that whole thing with her trying to kill Luke was so unnecessary, because nothing happens to Luke. And nothing happens to Uncle Ben or Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, nothing.
Both of those things in A New Hope. So, like, either she doesn't walk away from it, or she literally just walks away from it.
It was just to take up minutes during the Vader Obi-Wan fight, so that it wasn't just a fight the whole time. Which, whatever. It's just I don't know.
Still a good show in my opinion, but things could have gone.
There's a lot of issues for sure, and then 6 episodes. I hate when shows are 6 episodes now. Wasn't it? It was 6 episodes, right?
Yeah, because it was, but then they were each like an hour long.
Not really,
give or take. More like 40 minutes, but
it was.
Hey, that's more than The Mandalorian.
6 episodes, but it's like. So, like, there was a lot of weird stuff, but there also was a lot of good stuff as well. Like, one of the best performances with the whole fight, Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then young Leia, that was awesome.
Yep.
Obi-Wan and a little Leia.
I liked that whole arc. People were like, "Oh, it was useless." I was like, "It wasn't."
Yeah, now we know how she knows Obi-Wan.
Yeah, because she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi."
Yeah.
I hope.
I am just so hyped for Ahsoka. Oh my god.
13 days away. Is that where we're at? 13 days. Is it the 23rd it comes out?
We're 1, 2, 3, 4,
It's the
5,
10th.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 13.
Or you could have just done 23 minus 10.
No, I can't do math. We talked about this.
Because
I can't do math.
Anyways.
I choose not to do math.
See, that's your problem.
Is it a problem? I don't think so.
Anyways, first 2 episodes dropping the same night, so that will be a 4
It's about like an hour and 30 to an hour 40 long thing. We're getting like a movie basically. Movie drop.
We will be there.
Yep, we will be there. And then we're gonna break it down. No, we're not gonna probably break it down. We're not smart enough to break it down. We can talk about it though.
I'm not that observant. We can get enough from it.
I don't know how people do that.
People be
Breaking
like,
it.
they must have a team because like, there's
Go
no way
frame by
one
frame.
person can catch all of the stuff in the background and
And that quick.
and that quick. A lot of it too, though, is like people will like live stream them watching it, and then chat will be like, "Oh, did you see that?" So you have like a couple thousand people watching it, like doing your dirty work for you, which is kind of smart. But you got to be big in order to.
Completely off topic. Today is Peter Parker's birthday.
No way. All of them.
August. It
Is
says
we're in
August.
multiverse now?
Nah, the Tom Holland one. I don't know if that's the same one as everybody else, but on his birth certificate or whatever, in one of the movies, it said August 10th.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Technically, every day is a Peter Parker's birthday, because in the multiverse there's infinite possibilities. So you have.
Shut up. Shut up.
Okay, this is now a Rick and Morty podcast.
What?
Hey guys.
Oh man.
Zach's back with the
Anyways.
useless information.
Anyways,
What else do we have?
Return of
Nothing.
the Jedi is a good movie.
Nothing. Yeah, it's a great movie. Nothing's too new.
Now, hold on. Let's get controversial here.
Oh my.
Let's get controversial here for a second.
Leak some DMs. Let's get into it.
Is it the worst of the original trilogy?
See, now that is a great
It
question.
might be.
Because I think about this a lot, and I'm like, you have to look at them as movies, because without the nostalgia factor, because obviously A New Hope is 90% of people's first Star Wars movie. So like that movie is just in everybody's little special place in their heart. However, I think we can all agree that Empire Strikes Back
100%, yeah.
might be number one.
100%.
But it gets tricky when you say number 2 or 3, because I honestly think,
Like-
and I think A New Hope and I think Return of the Jedi are fairly equal.
You can okay. Listen to me here, okay? I think Return of the Jedi has the higher highs between the two, but I think it also has the lowest lows of the two. Cuz some of the Endor stuff is a little like, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
Whereas A New Hope doesn't have as low lows like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
I feel like it also doesn't have as high of a highs as Return of the Jedi, because like the last fight in Return of the Jedi is like one of the best Star Wars moments like
Ever.
of any of the movies. Yeah, exactly. Like it's my favorite fight.
So, but then you get A New Hope where Luke's, standing in the homestead looking out at the twin suns. Like that's an iconic
it's
moment.
Pretty iconic. Yeah.
You get the cantina scene.
If we're going on the averages, I would say A New Hope is probably the better movie overall, just because it doesn't have lows like that. Like but the Return of the Jedi lows aren't even that bad. I'm just saying, compared.
No, again,
it
all
has
three of these
lower-
movies are great.
Right.
They're not bad or awful.
So
by any
I
means.
think, dude, I don't know, man.
See what I'm saying? They're very even. They're very equally equally matched. Because Return of the Jedi to me is more like significant to the story, obviously because the prophecy's fulfilled. Like it's finally the end. The end scene of like the new edits
Luke is pretty
or whatever.
dope in it.
Yeah, Luke's he's blacked out, he's dripped out, green saber with theory here. We've talked about this before, but Qui-Gon Jinn's kyber crystal. Little side note.
Could be. I wouldn't be surprised.
No, so the reason that I say that is because there was a deleted scene.
Yeah, where he makes
or like
it.
like an
Or
extra
he's
cut
constructing it.
where he builds it in, I believe, Obi-Wan's hut. Now, I don't know if we ever saw this, but like we can kind of assume that Obi-Wan had Qui-Gon's lightsaber for safekeeping or for whatever reason. that just makes sense to me. He was there when he died, you know, for whatever reason, kept it, either gave it to Luke or Luke found it, you know, whatever the reason may be, but then took the crystal out of that and used it for his. Side note, a little detour, but back on track. Like, I feel like Return of the Jedi is more significant to the story of Star Wars as a whole. Obviously, A New Hope is the beginning of it all, so it's all has a setup, and in that case, could be a little bit like slower, or like whatever. But
Yeah.
I think as a whole, because we get more characters in there, we get more significant characters. You know, we get the Force Ghosts in there. Ewoks are like, I don't know. I would think, but like you watch the first one and it's just all of it's a good movie.
It's so good, yeah.
You know?
I think I'm gonna go Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, and then Return of the Jedi.
I think I was leaning the other way, personally.
That's where I'm gonna
but
go.
it's so close. I think I'm leaning
like,
Empire Strikes
you can't go
Back.
wrong.
I think I'm leaning Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and New Hope. But 2 and 3 are so close together.
Like, you can put those 3 in any order, and I wouldn't be mad. I'd
Honestly,
be like, yeah,
honestly,
it's valid.
I would.
But
be
now, now, let's get crazy. All right,
oh no!
Revenge of the Sith is number 1 overall.
Obviously,
Just gonna put that out there.
we should do.
Some
we should do a
people
tier
are
list.
very diehard Episode 5. You know,
And I
advocates,
respect
but
that. I respect
it. Yeah, 100%. Like,
However,
I'm not mad at you if you put Empire
for
Strikes
me-
Back and then Revenge of the Sith.
for me and for you personally. It's a little closer and
It
near
just,
and dear.
it just hits. It just hits different. It just hits different. And there was a poll. They did. It was on, like, I think it was on Twitter or something. And they did like a basically like a kind of like a March Madness bracket thing. And it was the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And the winner was Revenge of the Sith, and it beat Empire Strikes Back. They were the final 2 because they were both the number 1 seeds on the opposite sides. Because of course.
Yeah.
And Revenge of the Sith did win by, it was pretty close, but Revenge of the Sith did win. So people are starting to see the light.
I saw I saw a tweet today that Hayden, like, somebody quoted Hayden Christensen and was like,
Oh yeah.
the prequels, you know, when they came out, weren't that popular, but they just needed time to sit and ferment a little bit to get into pop culture.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's literally all it took. It took the people the boomers that got Star Wars ruined, quote unquote, by the prequels, needed them to get out, needed them to stop being kids, and then once we grew up, then it was like, it's actually a genius movie. And I'm sure the same thing's going to happen with the sequels. I'm sure the same exact thing's going to happen. Not to the same extent, but they'll gain popularity.
Okay, do you want to do this bracket?
Let's do the bracket.
So I'm gonna give you some. We can you want to just like come to unanimous decisions for these?
Yes.
All right. So let me
Do the very bottoms first.
replace this.
Oh, you're moving around.
Oops. Hold up.
You done messed it up.
All right. No, because I don't want these to go against each other. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. All right. Phantom Menace versus Attack of the Clones. Now, I personally like the Phantom Menace better. Personally. I think I have the side of the people as well. I think more people agree with me here.
I think you do, but I also...
Now, episode 2 is also, like, I you know, it has its moments, too, and you get Anakin back. Dude, I don't know, because, dude, Darth Maul alone, for me...
Darth Maul alone carries. But my thing is, I think it depends on the day.
And Qui-Gon.
And Qui-Gon. I think it depends on the day.
Like, come on.
I flip-flop back and forth because I love seeing, like, the beginning of the Clone Wars. All of the Sifo-Dyas.
And then you get Jango Fett and stuff.
You get Jango Fett. We see Little Boba. We get the Battle of Geonosis, the first Battle of Geonosis. Mace Windu going ham. Coleman Trevor's going ham. All these people. But then
And we get Camino.
we get
Camino's
Camino.
dope.
But I think more days than not, I prefer episode 1 because of Darth Maul and Qui-Gon. Little Annie's cute. We get Watto.
Just
We
the
get the
fight,
pod racing
the
scene.
Duel of the Fates
Duel of the
fight
Fates.
alone.
That
Like, come on.
I think I would have to go episode 1.
Like, come on, man.
No,
Like,
I think I would have to go Phantom Menace.
yeah, it
But
has the higher highs. It doesn't have as low lows.
People hate on Attack of the Clones a lot.
Yeah. I don't think it's
Still,
that bad.
It's
not
love it.
that bad. All right, Rogue One versus Empire Strikes Back.
All right, well, we know which one that one is. Rogue One. Great movie. It's a great movie. Disney,
Rogue One wins.
One of Disney's,
kidding.
actually Disney's
kidding.
greatest Star Wars movie, in my opinion.
No, Rogue One is fire.
However,
it's so good.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back, yeah,
Please.
all day. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith versus The Phantom Menace.
Revenge of the Sith. That's not even a question.
Of course, dude. Of course.
Again, both great movies, but you can't beat it. Dude,
Now we get a heavy hitter already. Empire Strikes Back versus Revenge of the Sith. Now, for me, I'm going Revenge of the Sith.
This is a final.
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to mix it up, but it wants me to create an account in order to change it up, and I'm not doing that.
So,
No, you know what? Hold on. Let's reshuffle. Let's make sure they're on
that's a
opposite sides.
totally
What is
different
this?
bracket. Again, it depends on my mood. What movie? I'm thinking
it's
it.
completely messed up. Now.
I'm thinking about like what movie I'd rather watch. And it depends on my mood, if I'm in an original trilogy mood or if I'm in a prequel mood. But again, 90 or like 75% of the time, I'm in a prequel mood. I'd say 85%. So 85% of the time, I'd probably watch Revenge of the Sith. And it is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it is mine as well. I personally like Revenge of the Sith more, but also Revenge of the Sith. Sometimes I don't want to be so depressed watching that movie, so I'm gonna be like, you know, I'm gonna watch some Empire Strikes Back.
And sometimes they don't have 3.5 hours. I'm just kidding. It's only like 2. But sometimes you just want like the classic film grainy, you know.
Yeah.
I want that vibe, and at that point, I'll watch Empire Strikes Back because it's a beautiful movie as well. But
Oh, here we go. Oh, this is so much. Okay. All right, we got to start over, but this is a much better bracket. Let's start on. Let's go the right side. Okay. Oh boy. This might get heated. Okay. The Last Jedi versus the Clone Wars animated
whatever the
movie.
second. You don't even have to say whatever the other option is.
I have to go Last Jedi here. Over the Clone Wars animated. That movie is not good.
The one where
it is not good.
The one where Anakin and Ahsoka like meet.
The little baby Jabba. Remember his son, Jabba's little son, and they had to put him in a little backpack.
Yeah.
Little Stinky is what she called. Dude, come on. Like The Last Jedi, I may not agree with some things, but it is a way better movie.
Okay.
Just directorially, like cinematically. I don't even know if directorially is a word, but I said it. So I'm going Last Jedi there. Hold on. You know what?
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like story wise, they both are a little lackluster. We'll just say that much. But cinematically, like if they both are lacking in the story department, then you have to look at the
Last Jedi completely obliterates with.
And it's not totally fair because the budgets are a little up.
and also the last Clone Wars animated, like that was back when it wasn't as good animation.
Yeah.
So okay. Attack of the Clones versus The Force Awakens.
I'd still take Attack of the Clones. Again, like which movie would I rather watch? Which one am I gonna?
The Force Awakens is the best sequel.
It is by far.
I think that movie's actually good. It's actually good, but I agree. I probably would take Attack of the Clones over Because The Force Awakens is also just A New Hope reskinned.
It literally is, and it's The Force Awakens is good as a standalone.
That is a good movie. Yeah.
If none of the other sequels happened, I'd love it even more.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I think I'd rather watch Attack of the Clones more often than.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good matchup right here. The Phantom Menace versus Solo.
I'd still go Phantom Menace. I love Solo.
I think I would go Phantom Menace as well, but that is a pretty good matchup.
That's a good matchup. I like Solo, but the problem for me is it's like predictable.
It's definitely the better on your first watch because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So like some of the betrayal stuff and everything isn't as good.
But like you can kind of you've seen the structure of the movie before. Like there's a bunch of other movies that are have the same betrayal and then like the whole same structure. Like you build trust out of nothing, and then you go do something like
it's like you've seen it once, you've seen it, or you've already seen it a number of times.
I mean, it's a perfect movie to.
It is a good movie. I think it was overhated 100%, and I think people are starting to realize that it's not actually that bad. And there's apparently a Lando show that's going to be coming out with Donald Glover playing Lando again, so that's kind of cool. So next matchup we have Revenge of the Sith versus Rise of Skywalker. We don't even gotta say it.
Let's get serious.
We don't even gotta say it.
Rise of Skywalker again, cinematically good movie. Other than that, kind of turning the story around to a place where a lot of people were not happy.
Yep. Next up, this is a really good matchup. This might be a little bit of a debate here. Rogue One versus the Phantom Menace.
Rogue One versus Phantom Menace.
Oh,
that's tough.
I don't know.
That's tough.
I think movie-wise, I think Rogue One is definitely probably the better movie, better written, better shot, but that's not really fair comparison because, age differences. But then the Phantom Menace also has the Duel of the Fates. It's got, you got John Williams on the score.
So, like, the Phantom Menace
fight.
We are forgetting about Jar Jar. We're forgetting about Jar Jar Binks here.
Okay, that's
if it wasn't for Phantom Menace
of the movie.
What are you talking about? That's messed up.
Lows, man.
Do my boy right.
He's not that bad as people like to say, but he's definitely not.
What are you talking about?
What makes the movie good? Okay.
Top 3 character of all time.
Some moments he has are pretty good. I won't lie.
Top 3 character.
I think personally, I have to go Rogue One.
Really? That's interesting.
I don't know, but okay, Rogue One led to Andor happening, and Andor is the best Star Wars show ever. Live action.
So, But if it wasn't like for Phantom Menace,
about it.
If you look at like the history behind the movie, like it was the first time they had a full CGI character, aka Jar Jar Binks, the one and only.
Okay, but we're talking about the movie, not technology advancements.
Okay,
all right,
but like,
it's tough. It is tough.
Which one would I rather watch personally?
You know what?
Which one am I watching?
I think a Phantom Menace.
Out of those two, I'm watching Phantom Menace.
I think I might have to go Phantom Menace now that I'm thinking about it. Because like without Phantom Menace, we wouldn't have gotten the Duel of the Fates.
Yeah. However,
that's like the best piece of music.
The ending scene for Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One is fantastic. Fantastic movie. Let's go now with, let's do Return of the Jedi versus The Last Jedi.
Both Jedi movies. I'm going Return of the Jedi.
Wins.
Yeah.
Then we have Empire Strikes Back versus Attack of the Clones. I'm going Empire Strikes Back, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. This I think we're gonna be in agreement with, but there are some people that might disagree. Revenge of the Sith versus A New Hope. I'm going Revenge of the Sith.
I am as well. It's very polarizing.
Is the Star Wars movie though. Did start everything.
It's good.
And it's, awesome.
Put some respect on his name. However.
Facts.
Revenge of the Sith is just that
Revenge of the
little bit
Sith
better.
is just Yeah, it's the movie, you know.
Okay, now we're in the semifinals.
Okay, Revenge of the Sith versus the Phantom Menace.
Revenge of the Sith.
I'm going Revenge of the Sith. Of course.
It gets easier.
Yeah, it does. Empire Strikes Back versus Return of the Jedi.
Dude, we're back again. We got the same result.
We're back. Empire Strikes Back is the winner. Yeah. And now, the grand finale.
This is going to take some discussion.
Revenge of the Sith versus Empire Strikes Back. I am going with Revenge of the Sith.
Answer.
What are you going with?
Probably, I'm going to say this now, because I'm going to talk myself out of it, and I'm going to talk myself back into it. But probably, I'm going to say Revenge of the Sith. And I'm going to say that just because I think even though we see both movies have, like, very defining points in the storyline. Like,
oh, yeah.
Empire Strikes Back, you know, I am your father, obviously. Like, that's the
Facts.
line of the entire franchise.
Mm-hmm.
You get that. We get the training with Yoda. We get, you know, Obi-Wan's a Force Ghost. More. We get, you know, Yoda's death. R.I.P. to the goat. Was that? That was Empire Strikes Back. Right?
No.
That was at Return of the Jedi.
No.
Because he starts it.
Because he starts trading with him. Yeah.
We learn of Leia's...
Judge me by my size, do you?
Yes. Do or do not, there's no try.
Yep.
We learn that Leia's... Or there is another, I should say. No, we don't know who that other is.
There is another. Yep.
But we know that there's another Skywalker somewhere. We figure out in Return of the Jedi.
Well, we don't know there's another Skywalker. We know that there's just another hope for the galaxy. Yeah.
Which is another Skywalker. Anyways, hindsight. It's got one of the most beautiful lightsaber fights of all time. Luke and Vader at Cloud City.
Yep.
Also, that Boba Fett minifigure is the most expensive Star Wars minifigure.
Oh, yeah, we get Boba Fett.
We get Boba Fett.
It's not his debut, technically.
Not technically. I think it is in the green armor, though, right? Because his debut...
No, he's in the green armor in the holiday special.
It is.
That's his debut.
I think he had, like, white armor or something. Anyways, we also get... Don't we get Bosk and Dengar and...
Yep.
A few other people in that one, and the Superstar Destroyer. We get that. We get the Superstar Destroyer. We see the Executor. We start out on Hoth. Oh yeah, you're right.
No,
like
it's green. It's
green.
the green. It's just it looks.
Depends on the film you use.
But yeah.
However, we get all these things in Empire Strikes Back. It's a more concise movie. It's a little bit faster paced. It's still good. But we get to Revenge of the Sith, and it is from the first...
It literally starts off with the greatest opening of all the movies.
First second.
From the
It starts and it doesn't stop until the very end.
And it has the best fight with Obi-Wan versus Anakin.
The best lightsaber fight in the entire franchise.
You get Order 66.
You have the start of it all. The start of the downfall. Beginning of the Empire.
It's insane.
You get the crowning or the christening of Darth Vader himself.
And the music goes hard the whole way.
Music is there the whole time. You're on the edge of your seat the 15th time you've watched it.
Even if you know what's gonna happen,
you know what's gonna happen.
If you know Anakin becomes Vader, you're still on the edge of your seat because you don't know when it's gonna happen and you don't want it to happen.
You know,
you're just
all of the lines
it the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. You want it to end differently every time, even though it never does, and it never will.
I'm gonna go ahead and just strike out Empire Strikes Back. I think we have our winner. I don't even think it needs to be discussed any further. Revenge of the Sith, baby.
No, I think...
And this is not even a knock at, Empire Strikes Back, because if you tell me that Empire Strikes Back is your number one movie, I'm not mad at it. In fact, on some days, I might even agree with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not mad at any of the original 6.
Facts.
If you say a couple of them are like, if you like the sequels, more power to you. But
Yep.
if you say your favorite movie is The Last Jedi, I'm gonna have to talk some sense. I'm gonna have to just talk to you for a little bit.
Honestly, if you say Last Jedi is your favorite movie,
why. I'm just asking
that's
why.
not. It's not as bad as saying Rise of Skywalker is your favorite movie.
That's fair. But if you give me a good reason, I respect it.
But yeah, if you say purely on the cinematography, I'd say
I agree with you.
You're not wrong.
I agree with you.
Because Rian Johnson is actually a very fantastic director. He's very good.
All three of those movies are super cinematic.
Yeah,
the effects are the best.
The Last Jedi just takes the cake, 100%. But
Yes, exactly.
but yeah, I think as of right now, as of episode 12 of the Outer Rim broadcast, we together have agreed that Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie and Empire Strikes Back is second.
So we have 1
now,
and 2. What's number 3?
You want to, yeah, so if you want to get crazy here, it's between, third place is between, it was between the Phantom Menace and Return of the Jedi. Out of those two, I'm saying Return of the Jedi.
I'd agree.
But if we want to say Return of the Jedi versus A New Hope, that's when things get a little bit crazier.
So we talked about that a little bit before.
Yeah, I think I said I had A New Hope.
You said A New Hope. I said Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm still there.
I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that.
So it looks like that there's more in the top, 5 or top 4, I guess. We have more original trilogy higher up than we do
yeah.
Prequel trilogy, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've watched the prequels more and I enjoy watching them more.
Right. But it's just because that's what I grew up with. Whereas,
Right.
I agree that the original trilogy movies are probably just are better movies overall, for sure.
Yeah.
But then, because for me, Revenge of the Sith kind of carries
The whole prequel trilogy.
It carries the prequel trilogy for me, yeah, for sure. So this is interesting. I have a bracket, a Star Wars movie or a Star Wars character bracket here.
Mm-hmm.
From 2016. Jeez.
Wow.
Is there no more recent one? Anyways, so they deemed Luke Skywalker the champion. So we can go through this if you want.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the light side here. So Obi-Wan versus Padme, they said Obi-Wan. I agree with that 100%.
I'd agree.
R2 versus Sabine, they said R2. I also agree with that 100%.
That's not a fair matchup.
It's not.
You gotta match up R2 and BB-8, or R2 and C-3PO or something, like another droid.
None of those are fair. R2 wins. It doesn't matter.
R2's gonna win either way. However, it's more fair.
Now, Luke versus Hera. Luke obviously won that. Yeah. I agree. Han versus Chewbacca.
That's a mess. Ooh. That's a messed up first round.
Ooh, they gave it to Han Solo, and I think I agree. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Maybe he's the brains behind everything, and he still holds his own. And Chewie's.
He is clearly, but Chewbacca's also been around since the prequel trilogy.
And yeah.
But I think I agree with Han Solo.
It's just
Harrison Ford alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got Yoda versus Finn. They gave it to Yoda. I agree.
Yeah.
Ahsoka versus BB-8. They give it to Ahsoka. I agree.
Definitely agree.
Now, this one I do not agree with. Rey versus Ezra Bridger. They gave it to Rey. Honestly, I'm giving it to Ezra.
So you have to think about the context of the year, because I don't think Rebels finished until 2017.
This was also just after Force Awakens.
Just after Force Awakens, the hype was real. So yeah. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Rebels ended in 2017. I think season 4 like came out in 2017. So after this bracket was made.
Yeah, let me see. Let me do some research here. Let me do some little quick research here.
2014 to 2017. Yes, I am right.
Okay, so I mean, this was during.
So like, we never got his season 3. So we never got the full arc.
Yeah, so this is understandable.
I understand why they picked that, and that is.
Ezra was still annoying at this time. You can see he has the long hair in the picture.
I'd have to go. Ezra is just a much better written character.
In the context of the year, I would agree.
Yeah,
I would probably have said Rey back then as well, but context now, I'm giving it to Ezra.
Yeah.
And then they said they had a Leia versus Poe. Leia won that, of course.
Leia clears.
100% agree. So then we get Obi-Wan versus R2. They gave it to Obi-Wan. I would also agree with that.
Yeah.
Luke versus Han. Give it to Luke. I agree with that. Yoda versus Ahsoka. They gave it to Yoda. I think I agree with that as well.
I think I do, but I feel like
But I do love. I love Ahsoka.
I could go either way. Ahsoka's, again, we see more of her. We
grew up with her.
We see more of her like coming of age, and like that means a lot. But
which isn't fair to Yoda. It's not his fault. He's 1,000 years old. But I think I also would give it to Yoda. But yes. I do love Ahsoka, of course. Rey versus Leia. They gave it to Rey. What is this? Even in the context of the year?
Even in the context,
how are you gonna give it to Rey?
I'm not.
What?
Do you see the next round though?
Yeah. Okay. Who was voting? They gave it to Rey. I do not agree with that. It shouldn't even have been. Well, I mean, in the context of the year, yeah, it should have been Rey versus Leia, but Leia should have won. Like, what are you doing here, guys?
So then we cleared Leia through this bracket, but we said Ezra. So Ezra versus Leia.
I would have had Leia over Ezra as well.
I agree. I would have had Leia either way.
She's literally the princess of Star Wars, the queen of Star Wars.
She is.
R.I.P. Carrie Fisher. Mark Hamill once said that he thinks May the 4th should be known as Carrie Fisher Day. I agree with him.
I'm down.
Anyways. Then we get Obi-Wan versus Luke. They give it to Luke. I agree. Though I can see that being a pretty close battle.
That could go either way.
Yeah, but I do agree with Luke being the result there. Now, this is insane to me. Yoda versus Rey. Rey won. Who was voting in this freaking poll in 2016?
Man,
Rey was in one movie.
The Force Awakens effect, I'm telling you.
She used the Force one time. Not even that, the Force, like, forget Force powers or whatever. She was in one movie, dude.
Yeah.
Like what?
That, I cannot, I just don't see it. And I would not have seen it in 2016.
Even
Yoda,
now, even in the context of now.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I would have never, ever in a million years.
Moving on. Let's just not be angry about that because she's about to lose anyways here. Luke versus Rey. Luke won that. Thank God. Imagine. I would be rioting right now, even though this is 7 years ago. Luke won that. Good. Oh my God. So Luke wins the light side. Now,
what if we had over to the dark? No, listen. What if we had Luke versus Yoda? If the Yoda Rey fight went to Yoda,
I would have given it. I would give it to Luke, and I think Luke would have won that.
Okay, I agree.
Okay. Now let's hop over to the dark side. First round. This is a mismatch. This is like Shaq being guarded by Muggsy Bogues. I know you know who Muggsy is. Shortest NBA player of all time.
Yep.
Darth Vader versus the fifth brother.
Yeah.
Yao Ming has Chris Paul guarding him in the paint, 2 feet away from the rim. What's gonna happen? Oh no! What's Yao Ming gonna do? He's gonna dunk it. He's not even gonna see Chris Paul on him. Darth Vader wins fifth brother. Easy.
Yes,
easy.
Absolutely.
Seventh sister versus Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt wins that easy. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Though Seven Sister is pretty cool. I won't lie. Her little droids or whatever. Palpatine versus Asajj Ventress. Palpatine wins that, of course.
Palpatine,
of course.
He's the Emperor.
It's the Emperor, man. It's freaking dude. It's the guy.
Yeah.
Darth Maul versus Tarkin. Darth Maul wins that.
Clears.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. I agree with that. Kylo Ren versus Jango Fett. Okay. Now listen to me here. Listen to me here. In the year 2023, I agree with this. 2016, however,
Really?
I do not agree with this. I think Jango Fett is over Kylo Ren in 2016. He was only in one movie. Jango Fett is literally...
They both were, though.
Yeah, but Jango Fett is literally the father of the clones. You know what I mean? He is the bounty hunter who all the clones are made after. You know what I mean? So in 2016, I'm definitely giving the edge to Jango. But right now, I would give it to Kylo Ren. Though I will agree, Kylo Ren was pretty cool in Force Awakens and pretty mysterious.
He was. We never saw like the Force freeze in the movie before.
So I do understand why he could have won.
And I like the idea of... I loved Kylo Ren's character. I still do.
He's the best character in the sequel trilogy by far.
I agree. Or Babu Frick. I like how he was like Han and Leia's son. How he turned to the dark side, whatever. We're not gonna talk about that. However, I like that, and I'm trying to think against Jango Fett, like top 3 bounty hunter of all time.
If it was Kylo Ren versus Boba Fett would have won. So it's understandable.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm also okay with it.
I'll take
especially
Kylo.
Now. Yeah, especially now.
I would take
Dooku versus Phasma.
Yeah,
Dooku wins that.
Not even close.
Of course, I agree. Boba Fett versus General Hux. Come on now. Yeah, Boba Fett won that. Easy. Grievous versus Agent Callus.
Grievous.
Of course, General Grievous. Though Callus's arc in Rebels is fantastic.
Great character.
However, it's Grievous. Come on
Grievous.
now. Next round, we got Vader versus Jabba. Another mismatch. Vader wins, of course. I agree. Now this is a good battle here. Palpatine versus Maul. Maul won.
I've been thinking about this.
Honestly, I think I agree.
I've been thinking about this one the whole time because that's the first one that caught my eye, and I was like,
I just love Maul.
I love Maul too. I'm trying to think.
He's so complex.
I'm trying to think how to judge these characters. Like if it's based on power, Palpatine wins. If it's based on,
this is not power. It's just
based
who you
on
like.
Drive and passion,
like.
I think Maul wins. But if it's just like who I like as a character better, I like Maul because I like how focused and like deep into his hatred.
He's just so much deeper. He has so much. He's just more deep than Palpatine. Palpatine is the.
He already has
this is where the aging of the old movies comes into play. Is Palpatine's just like the standard evil bad guy? Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's just the evil bad guy who just wants power, whereas Maul is there's a lot more under those layers.
He worked his way up from Dathomir.
Literally got cut in half.
Got cut in half.
And just pure revenge.
And he lived from pure hatred and rage.
And then he creates like one of the craziest like crime syndicates. One of the best crime syndicates. All just to get at Obi-Wan.
He did all of this stuff as a side mission. He goes, while I'm waiting for Obi-Wan to just come and meet me,
and then
I'm gonna make so much money. I'm gonna rule Mandalore. I'm gonna have my own planet that
just
can
so
run
he can
this.
Kill Obi-Wan's love in front of him.
Yeah,
like dude, Maul wins easy.
Yeah.
And then we get Kylo Ren versus Dooku. Kylo Ren won this. I'm interested on your thoughts here.
This is an interesting one to me too because I think I love Dooku as a character,
especially with the Tales of the Jedi stuff.
With the Tales of the Jedi stuff, and that might push me over the edge for Dooku's side.
But Honestly, I think I'd go Kylo Ren too.
You would go Kylo?
I think so.
Just
the whole
like
Ben Solo side of Kylo Ren, I think, is a lot. Not that it's a lot better, but we've seen more of it than Dooku's. So I think I would have to go Kylo Ren. But I don't know how he wins in 2016.
I think
Dooku wins.
I think I would still go Dooku.
Valid.
Personally. He has my favorite lightsaber in the entire franchise.
And his style is also really cool. It's based off of the
Form
fencing.
2, I forget the name of it, but he's Form 2 lightsaber battle. Like he had trained. Nobody else trained for this, but it was just lightsaber to lightsaber combat. That is all he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he used everything he did. Like, I feel bad for him because everything he did because he thought it was right, and it kind of was.
Because he was partially right about the Jedi.
He was, but he got lost in the sauce after Qui-Gon and Cypher both died, and it was just too late for him. I would go Dooku. I like Dooku better, to be honest.
That's valid.
But it's very close. I still like Kylo's character and like the redemption arc behind that. Just dude, the ending where I'm not even gonna talk about it.
That's the thing is, Kylo actually was able to get redeemed as well. Count Dooku never was able to get there.
Yeah, but
I think if Anakin doesn't kill Dooku at the end of 3, I think Dooku ends up flipping on Palpatine because he saw Palpatine just be like, just do it. Like,
I would spill beans
like,
right
what?
there. I would have been like, that's the guy I'm looking for. I'm the apprentice.
Be like, wait a minute, before you kill me, there's a little thing you might want to know about this guy. But anyways.
Yeah. I like...
Next up.
Kylo's... I didn't even talk. The kissing scene at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, that ruins Kylo's character for me. And also this random shirtless scenes.
The kissing doesn't ruin it for me. I think him dying kind of sucked.
That did suck.
But it's because he gave his life for her. So, I mean, it is also like... he did the thing that Anakin never was able to do.
True.
So, you can also look at it that Anakin's grandson was able to finally accomplish what Anakin wanted to do.
Yeah, but
so
I know Anakin
that gives me a lot of plus points.
I know Anakin was so pissed as a Force.
He's like, you could have done that the whole time.
What? And maybe it's just the sequel writing that's pooping me on Kylo, but I'm still going to go personally.
Anyways, moving on. Boba Fett versus General Grievous. Boba Fett won that. I think I agree.
I'd agree too. Grievous is a little too.
Boba Fett's the greatest bounty hunter of all time.
Yeah, it was so proven fact.
Proven fact.
Killed Cad Bane.
Next round, we got Vader versus Maul. As much as I love Maul, sorry, my guy, Vader wins that easy. Sorry.
Just can't beat the classics.
That one, it's
for Vader. For me though, I don't know. I think Darth Maul's my favorite Sith. I think Vader's my.
Nah, I don't even think you believe that.
I don't know.
You're gonna think about that more.
I probably will, but Maul was just so into it. Like he was so deep.
Like Darth Vader in the Rogue One hallway scene alone.
Yeah, that's
come on.
Like Vader,
and all of the stuff some of the stuff he's done in the comics, like where he was surrounded by like an entire army, and they're like, "Give up, you're surrounded," and he's like, "All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men," and then kills them all. Like, come on.
See, you reminding me of those stories swayed me the other way.
It's so good. And as just a character himself, like he's just he's more deep than Maul.
I'd agree with Vader.
Maul wins over Palpatine because of how more deep Maul is, but Vader wins over Maul for that same reason. He's way more deep, more complex. He's literally in pain 24/7.
Yeah, that's true. I'd agree. All right, you convince me. You convince me.
And Vader has lost more limbs than Darth Maul, and he's not complaining about it.
That's fair, but Maul also got the better end of the stick on that one. In both aspects. He didn't get like some mech suit that's trying to kill him constantly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Vader's just in pain 24/7. He's still,
You're right.
Anyways, next up we have Kylo Ren versus Boba Fett. Kylo Ren won. I don't
think I agree with that. I'd go Boba.
I think in 2023 I agree. but I don't think I would have
Still?
agreed with that in 2016. Yeah, I
Kylo
think
was that
so.
good of a character for you, huh?
I really like the Ben Solo stuff a lot.
I do too,
And then
but
I think of the hero fan production video
yeah,
on him every time, and I'm just like, oh, it's so good. So that's what I'm thinking about. Hero fan productions is able to like take the best parts, like all the good stuff, and like put it as one story instead of having to deal with some of the bad. So then it's like it makes it so much better, and you're like, okay, like this is fire. That's why I think I would go Kylo Ren here.
I think so. I think he's got more of a special place in your heart. For
And
me,
I'm not. In the Boba Fett show, it just left a little bit of a in my
fair.
brain.
That's fair. But like,
If they do a season 2 and kind of
so
fix some of that
nasty.
stuff, then. But yeah,
I would go Boba on that one personally.
That's valid.
Now going
Like,
from
can't go
if
wrong.
I had if my bracket was Count Dooku and Boba. I don't know.
I think you'd go Boba. I'm not gonna lie.
I think I'd still go Boba. We get to the same place.
Yeah. And then we get the next round, Vader versus Kylo. Of course, Vader wins that.
Yeah.
And then the final matchup. You've got Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader. The winner was Luke Skywalker, and honestly, I think I can agree with that. He's the hero of Star Wars. Even
Yes.
though Anakin's the chosen one and whatever, he still became Vader at some point and was terrorizing the galaxy for 22, 23 years. And Luke
He was what
fixed it
Anakin
all.
was supposed to be.
Exactly. And that's why I think I can agree with that.
When you put it that way,
But
this matchup for me depends on the day. Because if I'm in a little
yeah, like my favorite character is still Anakin / Vader.
Yeah.
But Luke Skywalker is very close second. And on some days, like you were saying, it can switch for sure.
if I'm in a good mood, Luke Skywalker wins. If I'm in a bad mood, Darth Vader wins. That's really what it comes down to.
If I'm feeling wild, I pretend Vader never happened and Anakin Skywalker was always Anakin.
Again, this has been a Rick and Morty podcast the whole time in another multiverse. That actually happened.
Yeah, in this world that you're listening to, Vader never happened. So who is Vader? Who are we talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I see a Luke Skywalker versus Anakin Skywalker matchup, the father-son duo, Jedi duo. Like what? What are you talking about? But yeah, cool bracket. I think we're pretty much on agreement for most stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's probably the end of this episode.
That'll do it for this episode.
A little bit of a more chill episode. We didn't have too much to talk about. We're still waiting for that Ahsoka to drop. That's gonna be crazy. Then we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Almost 2 hours.
13 days.
Almost 2 hours of stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I think we will see you guys on the next episode. Peace out.
Whenever that is, we'll see ya.
Whenever that is, huh?